Welcome to our deep dive into the world of UFOs.
UFOs.
You've given us some pretty amazing material to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Focusing on the Colares incident
Okay.
in Brazil.
All right.
Eyewitness accounts, military investigations,
Oh,
and even possible links to underwater UFO activity.
really?
Are you ready to dive in?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay.
Absolutely. It seems like you're really interested in
Yeah.
going deeper than just the events themselves.
Mhm.
I mean, the variety of the sources that you provided suggests that you want to understand not just what happened, but the why
Exactly.
behind it all.
Yeah. So let's set the scene. It's 1977
1977.
in Colares, a small island
Sitting
town
there.
in the Amazon.
Okay.
Life's pretty quiet until suddenly hundreds of people
Hundreds.
start reporting UFO sightings.
Wow.
And I'm not talking about blurry lights in the sky.
That's right. These were close encounters.
Right.
People were reporting physical effects.
Oh.
Marks on their bodies.
Really?
And even a strange, like, metallic
The smell.
in the air.
Interesting.
Yeah, the sheer volume and the consistency of these reports make Colares so fascinating.
Definitely got the attention of the Brazilian Air Force.
Yeah.
They launched Operation Preto,
Okay.
set up a base on the island, and spent over a year investigating.
Over a year.
Yeah.
Wow, the military's response was not typical.
Right.
I mean, they weren't just observing. They
No.
were actually trying to communicate with these objects.
Really?
Using monitors, equipment. They even picked up what they believed to be a non-human language coming from the UFOs.
Let's talk about some of the people who experienced these encounters.
Yeah.
Aurora, for example,
Okay.
became the face of the Colares incident, even though she refused to speak about it
Wow.
for 40 years.
40 years.
She described seeing a disc-shaped object,
Disc
being hit by a red beam, and even smelling ether afterwards.
ether. That's interesting, that detail about the ether, because it connects to a broader pattern
Okay.
in UFO research.
Okay.
There are these scientific theories that suggest some propulsion systems might utilize exotic matter or energy,
Okay.
which could produce these unusual smells.
Cool.
If you think about it, if UFOs are using technology beyond our understanding,
Right.
who knows what kind of byproducts
Well,
it might generate?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then there's Laura's story.
Laura.
Decades after the Colares incident,
Oh, wow.
she experienced a similar attack
Really?
in the Lim, the state capital.
Okay.
She described a white light burning her chest, leaving a distinct V-shaped mark.
A V shape. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The fact that these incidents continued after the Air Force investigation is
Yeah.
really crucial. I mean,
Yeah.
it suggests that whatever was happening
Right.
in Colares wasn't an isolated event.
And there are some strange commonalities in a lot of the witness accounts.
Like what?
Many describe bright lights,
Okay.
beams of energy, and a feeling of something being taken from them.
Taken from the...
Almost like samples.
Oh, wow.
It reminded me of cattle mutilation cases.
Yeah, that's a great observation. While it's easy to jump to conclusions about hostile attacks, I think the precision and focus described by the witnesses in Colares, along with the alleged physical sampling, could point to something more like scientific research.
Right. Yeah.
Though on a scale and with technology we can hardly fathom.
It's like they're conducting experiments.
Yeah.
And then there's the account of the boat captain.
Boat captain.
Hired by the Air Force.
Okay.
He talked about seeing UFOs entering and exiting the water.
Entering and exiting the water.
Being given a gun for protection. And even hearing that strange non-human language
Oh, wow.
through a military monitor.
So the fact that he was armed really highlights the level of concern the military felt. I mean, they clearly weren't dealing with something that they understood. And this brings us to a really intriguing part of the story. The boat captain also mentioned seeing an American working with the Brazilians.
Really?
Yeah. So this suggests possible international cooperation.
Wow.
Or perhaps even competition.
Wow.
In trying to understand what was going on.
Definitely adds another layer to the whole thing.
For sure.
But there's a big piece of the puzzle missing, the footage from Operation Proto.
Right.
The Brazilian Air Force supposedly recorded hours of video.
Hours.
But it vanished. Rumors point to the CIA taking it.
Oh, wow.
Do you think that's plausible?
Well, the disappearance of key evidence is unfortunately common in UFO research. It fuels speculation about government cover-ups and makes it very difficult to get a clear picture, even when there's documented evidence.
Yeah, we do have someone who can speak with some authority on this. Christopher Mellon.
Christopher Mellon?
Right. Mellon, the former high-ranking intelligence official, has publicly said that he believes that the Colares incident involved real UFOs.
Wow.
And he's even confirmed the existence of underwater UFO activity, giving more weight to the boat captain's account.
Mellon's statements are significant. They add another dimension to our understanding of UFO activity, suggesting that these objects aren't limited to our skies. They could be operating in our oceans as well.
It's pretty crazy. And that brings us to a more recent event. The jellyfish UFO video.
Jellyfish.
Captured at a U.S. base in Iraq.
A U.S. base?
This wasn't some random blurry footage.
No.
This was captured on thermal imaging.
Thermal imaging.
Over a black site.
Over a black site.
A highly classified covert facility.
Wow.
Within the base.
So the choice of location adds to the mystery.
Right.
What was a UFO doing over a black site? And why was it captured on thermal imaging? It raises these questions about the level of technology involved and what these objects might be capable of.
The footage is pretty eerie. You see this object shaped like a jellyfish.
Oh, wow.
Moving in ways that defy our understanding of aerodynamics.
It just hangs there pulsating.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
We've got UFOs buzzing a small town in the Amazon. Potential sampling, underwater activity, government secrecy, and a bizarre jellyfish UFO appearing over a black site in Iraq. Where do we even go from here?
Well, I think it's important to step back and consider the potential connections between these seemingly disparate events. The Colares incident, the jellyfish UFO, and the reports of underwater activity all hint at a pattern. Perhaps these objects are drawn to water for a specific reason.
So water isn't just a convenient place for them to operate. It's somehow integral to what they're doing.
It's a compelling idea, and one we'll need to explore further.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far.
It has.
It's like we've gone from investigating a single incident in the Amazon to uncovering a potential global phenomenon with connections to the very nature of water itself.
That's the beauty of a deep dive. You never know where it might lead you. And we've only just scratched the surface. There's still so much more to explore.
Looking forward to it.
All right. It seems like we've stumbled onto something truly profound. This idea that water could be more than just a backdrop for UFO activity. That it could be fundamental to their very nature. It's a game changer.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it all. But let's go back to the underwater UFO theory for a second. We have the boat captain's account from Colares. But is there any other evidence to support the idea that these objects are operating underwater?
There's actually more than you might think. The concept of USOs, or unidentified submerged objects, has been around for a while. There have been numerous reports from around the world of strange lights and objects seen near bodies of water.
Like, give me some examples.
Well, there's the Shag Harbor incident in Nova Scotia, Canada, back in 1967. Multiple witnesses saw this large glowing object crash into the ocean. And despite a search by the Canadian military, no wreckage was ever found.
So it just vanished into the water.
Vanished. And there are countless stories from sailors and fishermen who have encountered unexplained phenomena at sea.
Like what?
Some describe these strange lights and sounds, while others report objects moving at incredible speeds beneath the surface.
It's almost like the ocean is this giant, unexplored territory.
It is.
Where anything is possible.
That's a great way to put it. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the depths of our own oceans.
It's crazy.
And these USO reports suggest that there might be things down there that are far beyond our current understanding.
And Christopher Mellon's statement about Navy submarines detecting anomalous objects underwater adds another layer of credibility to this, right?
Absolutely. Mellon's access to classified information lends a lot of weight to his claims. He wouldn't be making these statements publicly if there wasn't substantial evidence to back them up.
Okay, so let's say for the sake of argument
Sure.
that these underwater UFOs are real.
Okay.
What are the implications? Why would they be interested in our oceans?
Well, the oceans offer a perfect place to hide from human observation. They could be conducting research, establishing bases, or even using the water as a source of energy.
Energy?
Without us ever knowing.
You mentioned energy earlier.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on how water could be a potential energy source for UFOs?
Some theories suggest that UFOs might be able to extract energy from water molecules, particularly from the hydrogen atoms. Water is a surprisingly powerful source of energy. And it's conceivable that a sufficiently advanced technology could tap into that.
That would explain why they're often seen near bodies of water.
It could also explain some of the strange phenomena that have been reported, like sudden changes in water temperature.
Oh, wow.
The water appearing to boil or churn for no reason.
Wow.
And even objects seemingly disappearing and reappearing in different locations.
Like the water is acting as a medium for their movement.
That's a very insightful observation. We tend to think of UFOs as solely aerial phenomena. But what if their mode of operation is far more complex than we realize?
What if they're using water in ways we're only just beginning to grasp?
It's definitely a lot to process. But let's not forget about the missing footage from Operation Prado.
Of course.
It's frustrating to know that there could be hours of video evidence that could shed light on what happened in Colares. But it seemingly vanished.
The disappearance of evidence is a recurring theme in UFO research. And it often leads to speculation about government cover-ups and conspiracies.
Do you think it's plausible that the CIA could have taken the footage?
It's certainly possible. The U.S. government has a long history of involvement in UFO investigations. And there have been allegations of evidence being confiscated or destroyed. We have the boat captain's account of being told not to speak about what he saw. This suggests a desire to control the narrative surrounding the Colares events.
It's a shame because without access to that footage,
we're left to rely on eyewitness accounts and secondhand information. And memories can be unreliable. Especially when dealing with something as extraordinary as a UFO encounter.
You're right, but even without the footage, we have enough information to suggest that something truly unusual occurred in Colares. And the broader context of USO reports and Christopher Mellon's statements adds weight to the possibility that UFO activity extends beyond our skies and into our oceans.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far.
It has.
It's like we've gone from investigating a single incident in the Amazon to uncovering a potential global phenomenon with connections to the very nature of water itself.
That's the beauty of a deep dive. You never know where it might lead you. And we've only just scratched the surface. There's still so much more to explore.
Okay, you've definitely got my attention. What kind of implications are we talking about? Should we be concerned about these underwater UFOs?
Well, that's a complex question. If these objects are real and are interacting with our planet in ways we don't fully understand, it raises a whole host of issues. For starters, it challenges our understanding of science and technology. If they can operate underwater at extreme depths or harness energy from water, their technology is far beyond anything we've ever imagined.
It would also mean we're not alone in the universe.
Exactly. And if they are extraterrestrial, it begs the question, what are their intentions? Are they simply observing us? Are they conducting research? Or do they have a more active agenda?
Those are some big questions.
They are.
I'm not sure I'm ready for the answers.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting, isn't it? But it's important to remember that we're still dealing with a lot of unknowns. We need to approach this with both a sense of wonder and a healthy dose of skepticism.
I agree. We need to be open to the possibility that there are things out there we don't understand. But we also need to be critical of the evidence. Avoid jumping to conclusions.
Well said. The search for truth about UFOs is a complex and often frustrating journey. But it's a journey worth taking.
I agree.
And speaking of complex, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, there's one more piece of the puzzle I want to bring up. The jellyfish UFO video captured at that U.S. base in Iraq.
Oh, yeah, that thing was creepy.
It was.
What do we make of it? Do you think it's connected to the underwater UFOs?
It's certainly possible.
Yeah.
The fact that it was captured on thermal imaging over a black site suggests it wasn't a conventional aircraft or drone, and its unusual shape and movement have led to speculation about its origin and purpose.
Yeah.
Some have theorized it could be a type of advanced drone, while others believe it could be something entirely different.
It's interesting that it was observed near water,
Right.
just like many of the UFOs reported in Colares.
Exactly.
Could there be a connection?
That's what we need to figure out. What if water isn't just a convenient place for them to operate, but an essential part of their technology?
Whoa, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Now you're really getting my brain working.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
And we're about to delve into some even more mind-bending theories.
Okay.
And explore the connections between UFOs, water, and the very nature of reality itself.
Okay.
But we'll save that for the final part of our deep dive.
All right. I'm ready to dive back in.
Okay.
You mentioned mind-bending theories.
Yeah.
Connecting UFOs, water, and the nature of reality.
I did.
That's a pretty bold statement.
It is.
Where do we even begin to unpack that?
Well, let's start with the idea that water might act as a portal or a gateway for these objects. It might sound like science fiction, but some physicists believe it's theoretically possible.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but I'm going to need a little more explanation here.
Sure.
How could water act as a portal?
Well, think about water's unique properties.
Okay.
It's a highly conductive medium.
Okay.
And some theories suggest that UFOs could be manipulating these properties to create distortions in space-time.
Distortions.
Essentially using water as a shortcut between dimensions.
So they're not just traveling through water, they're traveling through something else entirely.
Exactly. Imagine it like folding a piece of paper.
Okay.
2 points that are far apart on the flat surface can be brought together instantly. Simply folding the paper.
Right.
Some physicists believe UFOs might be using a similar principle.
Wow.
Manipulating the fabric of space-time to travel these vast distances in a blink of an eye.
It's pretty wild.
It is.
But why water?
Yeah.
Why not use something else to create these distortions?
Well, water is abundant on Earth.
Right.
It's possible they're using a readily available resource to facilitate their travel. And remember those reports of UFOs disappearing and reappearing in water?
Yeah.
What if those weren't simply optical illusions, but evidence of them entering and exiting these theoretical portals?
It would certainly explain a lot of the strange phenomena we've discussed.
It would?
But what about the jellyfish UFO?
Okay.
Do you think it could have been using water as a portal, too?
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
But remember, it was observed near a body of water.
Right.
And its unusual shape and pulsing movement could be interpreted as some kind of energy exchange or manipulation.
Okay.
Perhaps it was drawing energy from the water or using it to create a localized distortion.
So we're not just talking about underwater UFOs anymore. We're talking about objects that might be blurring the lines between our reality and something else entirely.
That's the truly mind-bending part of all of this. Yeah.
We're forced to confront the possibility that our understanding of the universe, of physics, and even of reality itself might be incomplete.
You know, you mentioned earlier that the oceans are a largely unexplored frontier.
Right.
It makes you wonder what else might be out there, hidden beneath the waves.
Exactly.
What secrets are we missing?
And if these theories about water portals are even remotely true, it opens up a whole new realm of possibilities.
Yeah.
What if the oceans aren't just home to unknown species, but also gateways to other dimensions?
Other dimensions or even other universes.
Okay, now I'm really starting to feel small.
I understand.
It's both exhilarating and terrifying to think about.
It is a lot to process.
It is.
But it's important to remember that we're on the edge of a new frontier of understanding. What we're discussing today challenges everything we thought we knew about the world and our place in it.
So what do we do with all of this? Where do we go from here?
We continue to explore.
Okay.
We keep asking questions.
Right.
We encourage more research into USOs, into the properties of water, and into the nature of reality itself.
Okay.
We need more transparency from governments and more open-minded discussion about what's really going on.
It feels like we've only just begun to scratch the surface of this mystery.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Every answer leads to more questions.
It's true.
The search for truth is a never-ending journey.
Right.
And the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know.
This deep dive has been an incredible experience.
It has.
You've given me a lot to think about.
I'm glad.
I don't know if I'll ever look at water the same way again.
That's the best kind of deep dive.
Yeah.
One that leaves you with more questions than answers.
Yeah.
And a sense of wonder about the world around you.
It's true.
Keep exploring.
Oh, yeah.
Keep questioning. And never stop seeking knowledge.
Thanks for guiding me through all this.
You got it.
I can't wait to see what other mysteries we uncover in future deep dives.
The universe is full of them.
It really is.
Until next time, keep your mind open to the possibilities come around.